This is a close group of friends of Australia that we've convened here. And that's because you all represent companies which already have a relationship in Australia, business in Australia, or you have prospective business in Australia. And you'll hear today directly from representatives of our state governments. Spanish investment in Australia is increasingly focused on the renewable energy sector and related infrastructure to the energy transition. Achieving the transition and meeting our climate targets is a first order priority for the Australian government, and you'll hear a lot today about opportunities in the energy transition in Australia. FTA offers many benefits which will bring us closer together, including diversification of trade for both sides, greater investment certainty, and closer collaboration on climate and energy.
Australia's population will rise from 26 million today to 40 million by 2050. Such population growth requires significant capital investment in infrastructure, with studies suggesting around 420 billion Australian dollars of investment will be needed to produce a competitive net zero economy. But with one eye on climate change and net zero, Australia has ambitions to become a renewable energy superpower.
Victoria has some of the world's leading targets and most ambitious targets when it comes to getting to net zero. So you will see that Victoria recently adjusted some of their targets. So we're hoping for 95% by 2035. We've brought our 2050 target forward to 2045. And what's really interesting to note in Victoria that the government will legislate these targets. So they're very committed to making sure that we achieve these, and we work with global players to help realise our ambitions in this space.
The Queensland Government has just announced its budget for the 23-24 financial year and has committed $19 billion over the next 4 years to deliver infrastructure to support this renewable energy transformation. We have clear renewables targets, 50% by 2030, 60% by 2030, 70% by 2032, and 80% by 2035. The government is investing in more than 2,000 kilometres of high voltage DC transmission lines to connect our renewable energy zones in the north, centre and south of Queensland.
The New South Wales Hydrogen Strategy sets out the state's bold vision and pathway to enable New South Wales to be a first mover in hydrogen, with ambitious policies that capitalise on our natural strengths. We are targeting a levelised cost of hydrogen below $2.80 per kilo by 2030, domestic hydrogen market of 1 million tonnes by 2050. We have abundant clean and renewable energy, and particularly we have 5 targeted renewable energy zones and extensive transmission infrastructure. And we've got strong existing industry infrastructure as well.
Western Australia has become one of, if not the strongest economies in the developed world over the past 20 years. It's a high income, resource rich and export oriented economy. The state takes seriously its environment, social and governance credentials. The state's commitment to retire all of our state-owned coal power stations by 2030 is a key enabler for the state's transition to a low carbon future.
In South Australia, we play to our natural strengths, and I'll talk through those. I'm then going to talk in detail about our world-leading green energy asset, which is one of those natural strengths. So we're in a world-leading situation in South Australia. We have gone from basically reliance on coal and natural gas in 2007 to 77% renewables today. Real opportunities are in the next 2 steps. The first one is going from 77% to 100% clean energy, which our government has committed to in the next 2 years by December 2025. And to actually go from that 100% clean energy and transition that up the value chain into our high energy industries to use that clean energy for good. And we're hoping that with this and those other massive natural assets we have in the state in terms of magnetite and copper, we have great opportunities to not only get to 100% energy, but to start very, very quickly and be world leading in removing carbon from our mining supply chain.